Welcome back to Web 2.0.tv. I'm Thomas Tucker. I am here with Greg Sporar. Greg is a technology evangelist for the NetBeans project over at Sun Microsystems. Greg, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit with us today.
Thank you,
I know
Thomas.
some exciting things are going on over at Sun. I want to visit with you a little bit about them.
We have a lot.
But before we get into actually what's going on internally at Sun, as an expert in the IT field, I just wanted to ask you briefly how you would define Web 2.0 as it pertains to your industry and how you think it's changed the marketplace over the last 12 to 18 months.
Well, Web 2.0, in my perspective anyway, is a couple of different things, right? From a technology perspective, it's the adoption of some new and interesting technologies to enhance the user experience of being on the web.
Absolutely.
Then I think really from a secondary perspective in terms of the social aspect, a lot of what you're seeing in the Web 2.0 world is people building websites and applications that involve the community.
Absolutely.
And so, this concept of user-generated content,
Yes.
right, is one of the buzzwords that you hear a lot.
Yes.
So you take these ideas of new technologies to improve the actual visual experience that you actually get to see, and then you combine that with things like user-generated content, communities of interest, those sorts of things. That, to me, is really the essence of Web 2.0.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Now, I know Sun is doing some very exciting things with Web 2.0 technologies to facilitate greater interaction, not only internally, but also with your customers. Can you tell me a little bit about that, what you guys are doing internally?
There's quite a bit going on at Sun with respect to Web 2.0.
Let's lay it out.
Now, first of all, in terms of what we provide to software developers,
yes,
there's several different things. We want to provide tools. And so the project that I work on, for example, is NetBeans. NetBeans is a set of development tools, an integrated development environment. And historically, of course, it's been for Java developers,
right.
But we've branched out way beyond that. And so, we see people using these new technologies, and a lot of them are programming in languages other than Java.
Right.
So we're adding support for those languages. One of the things that a lot of people are excited about right now is the support that we're adding for Ruby. A lot of folks out there doing Ruby development in the Web 2.0 world.
Absolutely.
We want to be able to provide development environments and tools for them. Now, beyond that though, in addition to the actual development tools, what we want to provide for folks is the really, really good runtime experiences as well. So for example, we have a project that we're supporting very heavily called JRuby, which is the ability to run your Ruby applications on the Java virtual machine. It's actually an implementation of the Ruby language written in Java.
Written in Java.
To help you bridge the gap for those folks who have been doing Java development and now they want to get some of the benefits of doing things in the Ruby world. There's that very nice bridge that JRuby provides to give you easy access to your existing Java applications and all your Java code. And then even more importantly, that nice deployment piece.
Absolutely.
So that if you're used to deploying Java in your enterprise, it looks the same way to your deployment folks. Now let's move a little further away from developers.
Right.
Okay. And
Over
let's talk
to the
about
server side, right?
let's talk about what we're doing at Sun to help people when you actually start to deploy.
Nice.
And let's talk about what's happening on that server farm, right? And there's a lot going on there as well. Obviously, for a long time we've had the Solaris operating system. It is, of course, open source, an excellent platform for deploying, powerful Web 2.0 applications. And then beyond that, if you look at the things that we're doing for improving how easy it is to manage your data center with virtualization and with things like energy efficient chipsets, there's a lot of excitement in the Spark chip world nowadays.
Absolutely.
Right? Built around all of the things that we've done with these new Cool Threads processors. We build systems on top of that, and then one of the things that of course is happening a lot in the Web 2.0 world, a lot of the companies that are building Web 2.0 applications and websites are actually startups.
Absolutely.
And it turns out at Sun, we have a very interesting program called Startup Essentials.
Ooh, tell me about that.
And this is targeted at startup companies. And it's an extremely easy, painless way to find out more about what Sun has to offer and take advantage of some really interesting discounts. So you go to sun.com/startup. There's a very easy form to fill out to qualify your organization, find out what your company is doing so that we have some demographic information on where you're at. And based on the information that you provide us, we give you deep discounts on things like hardware, software, and services. Sometimes those discounts go all the way to free.
Wow.
So this is a very exciting program that makes it easy for startup companies to take advantage of all the interesting technologies that we've been developing at Sun Microsystems.
That's amazing. I mean, a startup conceivably could come to you, go to sun.com/startup, get a tailored launch platform kind of strategy, and even price discounts, then perhaps run with Ruby on Rails or some kind of other rapid application development platform,
Absolutely.
plug in JRuby,
Absolutely.
and they're live in 2 months.
We have the tools, we have the runtimes, we have the platforms, we have the operating system, and with the Startup Essentials program, it can be available at a very convenient price.
Wow, amazing. Web 2.0 is ever evolving. Now people are talking about Web 3.5. They're talking about whatever comes next. You know, there's always a new functionality, but there's always a new social dynamic that is hidden behind that functionality. What do you really want to see, from technology next to greater facilitate these interactions between developers and going on to the server environment? I mean, where are we going from here?
Well, one of the sort of standard taglines that you'll hear from anybody at Sun Microsystems is, we feel very strongly that the network is the computer. And so
Absolutely.
One of the things that's interesting to look at is the expansion of connectivity. And I don't know about you, but I feel crippled if I'm not connected to the net.
It's a little bit addictive.
I have trouble doing my job if
Yeah.
I'm not connected to the net. And so one of the things that I think you want to watch out for in terms of coming trends is the ubiquity of connectivity as we move from, obviously, the big iron to the PC, to the laptop, to the handheld. Right? And so if I can hold in my hand all of that connectivity and all that functionality that previously had been restricted, right, to
Absolutely.
Larger environments, that's the trend that we're really interested in, because as more and more people are able to connect, there's need for more and more infrastructure. Well,
Absolutely.
naturally, of course, we have a little interest in selling people infrastructure.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that we see with social networking platforms and Web 2.0 environments and user-generated content is that data centers and data stacks tend to explode in size.
Sure.
And it's also very difficult to deal with the incoming requests and the outgoing requests for information rapidly enough to keep everything in sync.
Sure.
I know Sun offers some amazing solutions for that product. Can you tell me a little bit about how Sun is positioned to help people with that kind of problem?
That's an interesting question, and one of the things that was announced not too long ago, and is a very interesting technology approach, is this concept of a black box data center. And this is something that, is another area where I, obviously a bit biased, but I feel like Sun is out a bit ahead of the curve.
Nice.
And we literally have a shipping container now that contains a data center that you can bring it in on a truck, put it in your parking lot or in your disaster zone or whatever the case may be, wherever you need that surge of immediate compute power.
Amazing.
And within that one shipping container, you've got the rack-mounted systems, the HVAC, the whole bit. You hook up the electricity to it, and now you're up and running.
Wow.
Right?
Well,
So these are the kinds of things we're looking at.
Sounds like Sun has a crystal ball. Thank you so much for visiting with me today.
Thank you, Thomas.
I appreciate it. We'll be right back with Web 2.0.tv.